Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Coach James, or you can just call me James. That's okay too. Today, we are going to be going over the backstroke in swimming. It's where we're going to be, if we were to be laying on the ground, for instance, like we're going to be doing with this dry lesson plan, we will be laying on our backs, except obviously submerged in water. And it is a competitive swimming movement. So, first things first, what we're going to go over is my stop and go cues. My go cue is go. Go means go, and stop means stop. What we're going to be doing today is we're going to be doing some kind of activation work. We're going to be going over arm movements, hand position, how to position your feet in your leg portion, how to use your legs in the swimming portion, because we swim with our whole body, not just our upper body, not just our legs. That's how we're going to do it. First things first, let's warm up, because we want to make sure we're nice and loose for swimming. We want to make sure we're really focused on our shoulders. So we're going to be doing some arm circles forward. And we want to make sure that we're not doing any static stretches. We don't want to just hold something in place and then we're going to go backwards. Making sure we're moving. Get the blood flow into the area. And then we're going to do some crossovers. Make sure to alternate which arm goes over top. Focus on those delts. And then one thing we're going to do to stretch out our back is we're just going to do some weightless good mornings. Make sure you do it nice and slow. Good pace. Don't force it. Pause at the bottom for a half second to a second if you feel like it. But not too long. Remember, this is a warm-up. And just like so. Next, we want to make sure that we get some blood flowing to our legs. So what we're going to do here is we're going to do some high knees. Now normally you would do these going about 10-15 yards or so. But since we're living on space due to quarantine, we're just going to do them in place. Just like so. And then what we're going to do is we're just going to do some standing in place. Butt kickers. Just like so. So what we're going to do for our first activity is we're going to go over the muscle group activation to use for swimming. So unfortunately I don't have a yoga mat or anything, but I do have this towel. What we're going to do here is we're going to lay on our back. All right. We want to make sure we're in a good neutral position. And I'm going to fix my camera real quick. That's better. We want to make sure we're in a good neutral position. With our head on the ground, like so. So this is what we're going to start just to get adjusted. We're going to start with our head. We want to make sure our head is at a neutral position. No chin forward. Not leaning backwards. We want to make sure we're at a good neutral angle. This is the start of the chain. Next, with our head, we're going to put our arms at the side, like so. So our head is suspended, arms are at the side, and last but not least, we're going to engage our legs and our core, like so. So what we're going to do now is we're just going to alternate, like so. And to make sure you really get the idea for feeling it, what we're going to do is we're going to pause. So if we're in our position, we're going to pause. Like so. In a normal lesson, we'd be doing that for about a minute. But today, We're going to do it for a few seconds, just like this. So we want to make sure our head's nice and neutral, core is engaged. Make sure you keep your arms suspended, don't let them touch the ground, like so. And then, after you catch your breath for a second, what you're gonna do on the next time is just go like so. So this gets your shoulders warmed up, as well as your legs to propel you forward. What we're gonna move on to next is we're going to focus on the arm movements. Now in the backstroke, what we're going to do is we're going to raise our arm like so and supinate our hands so they can cut through the water easier. So what that's going to look like is this. We're not really focused on our legs right now, but we want to make sure our core is engaged. Okay? So what we're going to do here is we're going to lay on our mat again. Make sure we adjust ourselves accordingly. Fix your mat if you need to. On our backs again. And now we're going to focus on the upper body. So we're going to have our arms at our sides again. What we're going to do now is you're going to notice that you're going to raise your shoulder much like you were reaching to pick something up off of a high shelf, like so. Now, that's the shoulder motion. Now, with our hand motion, you want to make sure you bring it up and then supinate so you can cut through the water so you can push yourself forward. All right? So what we're going to do here, what that's going to look like is this. You got your arm suspended, rotate it over, and cut through the water. Over, and cut through the water, push yourself forward. All right? And what that's going to look like on the other side, just reverse it. Over, and out. Over, in, and push. Okay? So first things first, just like we did in the first activity, we're going to take it nice and slow, alternating. And pause, and we're just going to pause the motions at first, just to make sure we get it properly. So we're raising. This is where we rotate and push through the water. Now, because I'm not in a body of water, it may look awkward just sweeping across here. The idea is you want to be pushing under the water, propelling yourself forward. So again, on the same side over here, rotate, supinate, and push. All right? So now what we're going to do now is we're going to put that all together. Over, supinate, push. Over, supinate, push. Over, push. Over, push. Okay? All right. So now we got our arm motions down. That is the basics. Make sure we're doing it properly by pausing, check your steps, and then we're going to practice that live right now. Like so, and then this. Oops, my mistake. Like so, that's better. Okay. So next thing we're going to work on is we're going to work on the leg portion. Now, our legs contain very strong muscles, very good strong muscle groups that will help propel us forward. So I'm going to adjust myself here really quickly, and I'll show you what we're going to do for the legs. Now with the leg motions, just like the arm motions, we want to make sure our core is engaged. For this drill, we can keep our upper body relaxed. Okay? Now this drill is going to be similar to some core workouts that you may see some doing in the gym, but it's going to be a little bit different. I'm going to scoot up just a little bit more, and now what I'm going to do is I'm going to keep my arms at my side, I'm going to lift up my legs, and I'm going to plantar flex my toes. Now what does this do? Helps your feet act like flippers, helps you propel through the water a little bit more, and so that's what we're going to do. So take a few reps, just get used to the feeling. Point your toes forward, making your body as straight as possible is the idea. And then what we're going to do is we're going to engage our core. Like I mentioned a few seconds ago, we're going to keep it engaged just like we did with our upper body motions. We're going to lift our legs up, like so. We're going to alternate, pausing the rep, getting used to the feel. And so when in motion, you're going to be doing those with your arm motions. Okay? So just like we did, point our toes, pause, get the feeling for it, like so. And then when you're ready to move on, arms at the side, like so. Okay, I think we're ready to do some practice. So what we're going to do now is we're going to combine a little bit of the upper body motions as well as the lower body motions. And what that's going to look like is this. If I can adjust my camera quickly. Going to keep our toes pointed. Going to keep our head suspended, arms at the side, and just like so. Now it may take some getting used to, and that's why we're practicing. I'm not a professional swimmer, and that's what we're going to do. Making sure our core is engaged the entire time, and then that's what it's going to look like. You know, it's just one of those things that you got to practice, get the motions down, help your body work like it's a machine. So when it comes to closing questions, one thing we want to keep in mind, what is the best position for our head to be in when performing the backstroke? And the answer to that question is going to be a neutral position. Remember, we're not dipping our chin forward. We're not dipping our chin back. Remember, neutral position helps you stay straight and it helps you with your breathing. Next, what do we want to do? What is the cue we're looking for in our shoulder? Remember, when propelling backwards initially, you want to act like you're reaching up, grabbing something off a high shelf, and then rotating and pushing forward. Same thing on the other side, just like so, alternating. With our legs, again, keep that core engaged. And what we're gonna do is, remember, we're gonna plantar flex our toes, just like so. Forward straight, kind of acts like a flipper. That's what I'm looking for. And you're gonna alternate your legs just like so. Keep those quads and hamstrings engaged, and that will help you propel forward as well. The next thing we're gonna talk about is just the posture. As I mentioned, remember, keep your body as straight as possible. You want everything working simultaneously, so you're not veering off in one direction or messing up your pace, messing up your breathing, etc., etc. That is going to conclude my lesson for today. I want to thank my class for participating in this and watching this lesson. Unusual circumstances, but we were able to get it done. Dry swimming lessons can be just as effective, especially for beginners. Water can be a little bit intimidating, so for beginners, so these drills can help you practice outside of the water in a situation much like quarantine. Thank you very much, guys, and have a great day.